Freeland is your boy Freelancer Joe, ready to once again get cracking. How are you all doing this fine and glorious? Let me check, make sure. Alright, still, it doesn't say muted. See, the light is still red. How are you all doing this fine and glorious and wonderful Thursday afternoon? Mid-afternoon? I guess we'll call it mid-afternoon. I hope you're doing great and wonderful and fantastic and fine, just like this glorious day. It was cloudy in the morning. It was like the opposite of yesterday. Yesterday had a nice morning and then a cloudy, gloomy evening / afternoon. Now we had a cloudy, gloomy morning, but it's like really nice. As you can tell, your boy, Freelancer Joe, aside from being charming and oozing machismo and looking totally jacked, is also feeling not splenetic today. While I talk about how wonderful I am, let me go ahead and set things up. Not gonna get me down, not gonna get me down. Yeah, feeling good. It's kind of hard to feel down in the dumps, at least for me, on a Thursday afternoon. Because you know what comes after Thursday afternoon? Thursday evening. And what comes after Thursday evening? Thursday night. And then what comes after Thursday night? Friday morning. And Friday is an awesome day and a wonderful day and a great day. Well, that's not necessarily the best attitude to have. Every day that you wake up should be your best day and your most wonderful day. Because you can't relive yesterday, and you don't know if you're going to have tomorrow. But Friday will always have a special day in my heart. Because it's Friday. It's not Friday right now, but tomorrow's Friday. Friday. The build up to Friday, Friday itself. And of course, Saturday, or Catterday, as I like to say. I don't feel depressed that Friday is gone on Catterday because it's Catterday. And then, you know, Sunday, of course, has its own positives, and provided you don't think too much about what follows Sunday, which is Monday. And yeah, it's easy enough to grumble about a Monday. Believe me, I know. But then, most people that grumble about a Monday are grumbling because they have to go back to work. Which, yeah. I mean, responsibilities and dealing with people you may not necessarily want to deal with, all that jazz, understandable. But you also have to look at it from the big picture. How many people that don't have a job would like a job? How many people would gladly be in your situation? There are millions, at least millions of people in the world who scrap by day to day and would be happy to have a job that gives them something. Okay, what were we doing? We're working on the demo. So it's easy enough to feel that way about a Monday, and but Tuesday you can say, hey, I survived Monday, and that's great. And then Wednesday, you can say, well, Wednesday's the halfway point of the week, almost there to Friday. And of course, I just talked about how great and wonderful Thursday is, so yeah. And so each day, each day has their positives. So, and, yeah. Yeah, I didn't really think out that spiel too much. I was actually going to talk about not feeling splenetic. Because if you had joined me yesterday, you know that my spleneticism, and that's not really a word, but I just made it up, had come back from, I guess I had first felt splenetic on Monday, and then I thought it was gone Tuesday, but it was back in full force. So, was it just more sleep? Well, the sleep definitely helped. And I did get another reminder today of my disappointment, but, it didn't sting as much. So maybe that's the way to deal with it. You just don't look away. You know, look at it, let the emotions wash over you until eventually you become numb to it. And then, hey, you're good. You're golden. All right. So, we had been working on. Let me get this back in there. Yeah, okay. We had been working on my demo and adding in a calendar. Let me go ahead. I probably don't need to do this, but yeah, I don't need to click on a button. Thank you very much. I clicked on the button. I guess Firefox decided it didn't need to respond to me clicking on the button. Come on, Mr. Firefox. GitHub projects. All right. So here we have the beautiful and lovely calendar. I could play around more with the style. True. I could explore some of the other functions. True. But the most pressing and immediate point that needs to be brought up, and let me clean up my README here, is the actual events that are put in the calendar. Because as you can see, right now they are hard-coded into the view. So that's clearly bad because you actually don't want data embedded within your code. So what I do for a lot of things, of course, is just place these things in a configuration file. But that's also not ideal as far as events go for a calendar, because it means every time I add a new event or I get rid of an event, what I would need to do then is update the configuration file, rebuild my distributable, and then re-upload it. Very inconvenient, and lots of steps, lots of things that can go wrong. Not the best idea. Then the next obvious solution, okay, well, let's not put it in the configuration file. Let's put it in a separate file, because we know that this thing is placed in an S3 bucket. And we can have the code open the file. So then all I have to do is just update the file and re-upload that one file. Slightly better, but and even though I don't rail too much about performance, there is a performance issue related to that. Just reading a file means getting a handle to the file and streaming it in, and it's not the most efficient. That's one. And two, I still have to upload that updated file into S3, and that counts as a hit against S3, which, even though I'm far from hitting the threshold for being charged, it's still not the best approach. So, what do you do, Freelancer Joe? Well, the standard. Well, that's very presumptive of me to say. But it seems to me, or it has been my experience, that these sorts of things, data that can frequently change and that may need to be frequently accessed, should be placed in a database, because databases are optimized for, well, admittedly, depending upon how they're set up, they are better optimized for quick updating, quick reading, as well as quick searches. And that could be a future thing that I might want to add for functionality. Maybe somebody would want to search for a specific event. So that'd be kind of hard to do. Well, you can do it in a file, but you'd have to read in the entire thing and parse it, and then you run into memory limitations, and it's not the best idea. Well, I say database, but a data store. That's probably the better way to put it. I mean, if you had data that you wanted to, large amounts of data that you wanted to search quickly, I mean, maybe a search index like Elasticsearch or Lucene would be a better choice. But But like say something like events or like a storefront where you have um, items, products for sale or services for sale, things that change frequently. Yeah, that's the kind of thing you want in a database. Okay, so then how am I going to get my front end talking to a database? Well, for those of you who have been religiously watching, and not that I suggest you set up a religion in my own name because that's highly blasphemous, but I would accept a holiday after me. You will remember that Amazon has data store services, and we have touched one called DynamoDB. And furthermore, I have had a Lambda that interacts with said service. Well, how does your UI talk to the Lambda? Well, again, if you've been paying attention, my personal website has that contact form, and that contact form goes to an API gateway endpoint, which talks to a Lambda. So what I need to do then is basically create a Lambda function that accesses DynamoDB, and a table within DynamoDB will have the events. Put an API gateway endpoint in front of that Lambda, and then modify this demo code to talk to said gateway, and then modify the demo code to process the data that it gives back and render that in the display. Sounds like a lot of steps, and it is a lot of little steps, but I think I've demonstrated all of these steps before in little small pieces, and that's how we do things. We build things up little. You start small, and you kind of link things together. Okay, so based on the order of things that I said, I mean, the first thing I would do is go into Amazon, AWS, and create the table. But yeah, I'm already here in my demo code, so we'll end up having to go from the front end, to the endpoint front end, DynamoDB, Lambda, endpoint, there. And that's just because I'm too lazy right now to close this and bring up something else. All right, so if we are rendering data, application data, we're going to need that data in the application state. So since we're using Redux and React, the first thing we need to update is the reducer to maintain the application state. The application state which will contain the event data. So we've got this transition state, user state, text field state. So now we'll add a field for initial event initial calendar. Calendar state start. Oh wow, I am not typing well today. Initial. This is probably the most typing I've done in a while too. Calendar state. Definitely not doing well today. Equals. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Maybe it's just because, as they say south of the border, tango hombre. Although they say it much better than I do. Probably because they natively speak the tongue. So our calendar state for now, we will just have the events. And we're going to have an array of those. Alright, so the initial root state of the entire application is going to be calendar. Initial calendar state. Bueno. Within the state itself, we're going to have calendar, Calendar. Man, that sounds like something from Lord of the Rings. Calendar. Or Dungeons and Dragons. Reduce calendars. Actions. Active state dot calendar. So y'all got plans for Friday? Your boy Freelancer Joe has his normal plans. clean up at work. Da, 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 da. Grocery shopping. Deadlift. Chores. Oh, actually, I probably should have copied this one. Gaming with Joe. And then cheat meal and passing out from a carb coma. Well, I'm not entirely sure about that carb coma thing. Reducer for calendar actions. Let me see. I mean, still a little early to tell, but it looks like for the week, my weight is not going to post a positive change, which is surprising, although it's still early to tell. Oh, I should have defined an action. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's not good. Let me see. I'm going to look at. I do have an external manager. Oh, it's empty. Nerds. I'm looking at the one place where I actually do call the Lambda because I want to double check something. So the whole setup, it's going to be an asynchronous call. So the application is going to need to know. No, I wanted internal actions. I need to know when we made the call to the Lambda, and then when the call was successful. Actions. Oh, it was there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is what I wanted. Oh, actually, this is very interesting. All right. So actually, I really should have done the actions first. All right. Fair enough. Actions. User entry. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut and paste. At your service. Alright, so what do we got? We've got access start, because it's going to be AWS, access success when it works, and access fail if it doesn't work. Alright, and start is fine. Success, okay. Fail is fine. So our reducer for calendar. Well, what does the reducer look like for what I've already got here? Part of it's me not remembering, and the other part is mostly. Oh, I have to read it. Okay, so that's how I do it. Alright, so let's change that back. Instead of doing calendar, we're going to change this to. Wait, what was it? AWS. Because we're accessing AWS. So this AWS. Wait, that's what I just cut and pasted. That was silly. AWS is what's going to be containing the events for the calendar. Alright? And our initial state for AWS, there we go. There we go. Is going to contain attempted, in progress, complete, successful, error, results. Right now this results is just a string, but we're going to make results an object, and in said object is going to be another object, the calendar object, and in calendar object is going to be my array of events. Little overkill, maybe, but in the future, if I integrate other AWS things in here, then I would just put it within here. So, alright, so this calls reduce AWS actions, fine. That's not good. That means I might have to go, well, I'd have to rework. Ooh, I wonder if I need the error stuff too. We'll see. We shall see. So let's go ahead and add this in. So that whole relevant reduce calendar actions, that's gone. We're replacing it with the AWS one. Ooh, that's fine. Okay. If access start results equals state state.results. Okay, success is going to have to change. Alright, that's going to stay the same. State.results. Initial AWS. Okay. So now, okay, let updated results equal object.assign action.results. This will results. This should hope. Thank you. This will make a copy of results. If action key equals route keys done. I haven't defined the. Really? That worked? I'm actually a little surprised that worked, to be honest. Not exactly our route keys. That doesn't make any sense. That should have been something else. Oh well, whatever. Let's see. We'll change that later. If action key equals calendar, if we successfully perform a calendar action on success, then updated results dot calendar dot events equals action dot results. Okay, action dot results dot slice. This should hopefully also duplicate the results, and then we'll just say results for the application state equals updated results. Think that might work. Should work. Alright, so that's all well and good. But now we need something that will actually make the call. And so in my UI demo, I have an external AWS folder and an AWS. So new folder, AWS, new file, index.js, and we're just going to, no, not you, well, I'll just copy this entire thing for now. Ah. I'm curious to see if it's actually doing the hot pickup of it. I haven't saved anything yet, so no, it's not going to. Alright, so let's take a look at this bad boy right now. I'll move this over here for now, because we're not playing around with it. So index.js. So let's double check the imports. We're not using a unique ID, or this, or this, or this. Ooh, really should remove those. We're not using show error or hide error, that's fine. We don't have a snack bar. Oh, here we go. We need AWS keys. Alright, new file, AWS keys. Right, and let's take a look at AWS keys and constants. I assume I just have contact form submit. Right. We're not doing a contact form, we're doing calendar lookup. Calendar event lookup. And back in the reducer, that's what this guy should be. That's why I'm surprised that that contact form submission worked. Control V, contact form. But we'll need to make sure that we import the AWS keys alphabetically. AWS keys, AWS keys. All right. So that's that. We don't need this or this or this. Back on. Not using these. Gone. We're not using show snack bar. Gone. Not using snack bar keys. Gone. Access AWS. Perform access. Result. Okay, that'll do the dispatch. Yada yada. Ooh, I shouldn't have done this. That was sloppy. I'm gonna have to go back and clean up. Well, if I add more AWS stuff to my demo, on my website, I'm gonna have to go back and clean it up later. So we're not. Do we want a snack bar? No, I don't think we want the snack bar. Fine, that's gone. Show our message. We don't need. Ooh, okay. I was using the snack bar instead of the error message. That's why. That's interesting. I might have to rethink that then. But it looks like we are just about at the 30-minute mark, so we'll have to break for now. Which is a darn shame because we're getting to a very interesting point. I'm starting to hit my groove too. Isn't that always the case? Just when things are getting good. But I will wrap this up for now. Cool kid words about liking and subscribing, commenting, and suggesting. suggestions. And I hope you join me tomorrow, which is Gaming with Joe. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. And then if you don't join me tomorrow, that I hope you have a wonderful Friday. And until the next time I see you, take care and God bless.